Here's a special announcement to all of our viewers who only watch afternoon shows now and then. You'd better switch on if you haven't yet done so, because Basil is back on the telly again.
Thank you very much. Well, hello and welcome to the show, where we've got a marvellous audience in the theatre today. And to prove it, listen. Is everybody happy? Fantastic. Well, I'm sure you all know that Basil is very fond of reading.
Oh, what a load of old rubbish that is.
But I've never known him...
I'm having that one out for a start.
I've never known him spend so much time with his books as he has this week.
It's a load of old codswallop, that book.
Basil!
I'm not giving that out.
Basil!
What is it?
Don't do that now, please.
Well, I won't be long. I'm just sorting this little lot out. Now, let's have a look. I don't want that one. I don't want that one. God.
Well, what are you doing with your books?
Oh, I'm having a sort out, Mr. Derrick. Did you read in the papers about that lady librarian in Ipswich last week?
Oh, you mean the lady in the public library who said that the Billy Bunter stories were unfit for children?
Yes, that's her. Well, you know, she may be right. I mean, some of these children's books are not very nice publications, you know. So I'm getting rid of the bad ones.
Well, I didn't know you had any bad ones.
Well, neither did I till I examined them. I mean, look at that one down there.
This one?
Yes.
What, Winnie the Pooh? What's wrong with that?
Well, it's not a very nice word, is it?
What? Winnie?
No. The other word. I don't mind pong, but that's a bit strong.
Oh, Pooh, Basil.
Oh, you said it again. Oh. You'll have Mrs. Lighthouse after you.
Look, I think you're going a bit too far.
Huh?
Look, you're not turning this one out, are you?
I certainly am.
What, The Adventures of Rupert Bear?
Oh, doesn't bear thinking about, does it? I mean, imagine Rupert running around in his birthday suit. And his bare feet. And that one's even worse. Nuddy in Toyland.
That's Noddy in Toyland.
Well, it's still not in very good taste. I mean, there's a poor little chap in that book. Noddy keeps calling Big Ears. I mean, you wouldn't like anybody to call you Big Ears, would you? Even if you have. He has got big ears, though, hasn't he? Yes, from the back. He looks like a taxi with the doors wide open.
Aha!
Huh?
What?
What?
This is my favourite.
What's that?
It's Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves.
Oh, that's a terrible book. 98% of the leading characters are dishonest. And that book of nursery rhymes is definitely going out.
Now, don't be silly, Basil. There's nothing wrong with nursery rhymes.
What?
Now, listen. Half a pound of tuppenny rice.
Misrepresentation, that is. It's all lies. It's all lies. Rice costs at least 1 8 a pound for a start.
Well, Jack Sprat could eat no fat, his wife could eat no lean.
And so between the two of them, they licked the platter clean. Shocking table manners, that's what it is.
Well, goosey gander's all right, isn't it?
What? About the old man who wouldn't say his prayers? They took him by the left leg and threw him down the stairs? There's too much violence these days.
Ah, now I remember this one from school. There was an old woman who lived in a shoe.
Poor old soul. Oh, no, I shouldn't laugh at those terrible housing conditions. I mean, imagine having to live in a shoe. With the rain pouring in through the lace holes.
Well, what's wrong with rubber-dub-dub, 3 men in a tub?
Well, it's not very hygienic, is it?
That, Basil, is poetry.
Well, it might be poetry, but it's not sanitary. And what about the 3 blind mice? I mean, the farmer's wife cut off their tails with a carving knife. I bet that was painful. I mean, you wouldn't like it if somebody cut off your tail, would you?
I haven't got a tail.
Huh? Oh, no, of course you haven't. Never mind, Mr. Derrick. We can't all be perfect.
Look, we can't spend the whole afternoon mucking about. We've got a show to do.
Oh, so we have. Who's on?
Well, your first guest has come all the way from Germany.
Oh, yes, of course. I know who it is. Ladies and gentlemen, it's...
Albert Sturm.
I was going to say that.
Ever since Sir Alec Rose circumnavigated the globe, it's been Basil's ambition to sail around the world. And after the last series, he bought a boat and persuaded me to go with him. I should have known better.
On an island in the sun, we're castaways, Mr. Derek and me. Our poor old boat wouldn't stay afloat. It's now at the bottom of the deep blue sea. This is the life. But my goodness, it's warm. Oh, I feel like a hot potato sitting here baked in my jacket. Oh, hello, Mr. Derek. Do you have any luck?
Well, I only caught one, Basil.
Oh.
I think it's a mackerel.
Well, one of these days you'll catch two, and that'll be a miracle. Hey, what? That's not a mackerel. No, that's a very unusual fish called a dock.
Well, what's a dock?
It's a sort of confused cod. Yes, it swims backwards to keep the water out of its eyes.
I'm fed up with fish.
Huh?
We've been marooned on this island for 5 weeks with nothing to eat but fish.
Yeah, and not a chip in sight.
I could do with some oysters.
Huh?
But if we found some oysters, we couldn't open them. We haven't got a knife.
Oh, I could open them.
Well, how can you open oysters without a knife?
Well, I put them in front of the television set and wait till they yawn.
We haven't got a television set, you nut.
Oh, no, of course we haven't. So I've got a transistor radio.
Yes, I know you have. Why couldn't you have saved something more useful?
Huh?
When the boat was going down, I said, bring all essential stores, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And what did you bring?
My transistor radio, 4 pounds of jelly babies, and my hot water bottle.
And a fat lot of good that is. We haven't got any hot water.
Ah, well, I stick it up my waistcoat to keep it warm.
And the spokesman said this was the most serious dispute since 40 members of Parliament went on strike and nobody noticed.
Huh?
There is still no trace of the two yachtsmen, Basil Brush and Derek Fowlds,
Hey!
who left Plymouth 2 months ago to sail around the world. The search continues.
Hey, I say, we're here. Here we are, SOS. Mayday, Mayday.
A lot of good that's going to do.
What?
I told you, Basil, we're stranded here forever.
Oh, dear.
And now, housewives, back to your old favourite disc jockey, Jimmy Old.
Oh, no.
Oh, blimey, that's all we needed. That was... God. I say, I used one of his recipes once, you know.
Yes?
Yes, on how to use stale bread.
Well, how do you use stale bread?
Make stale sandwiches.
Well, I wouldn't mind even a stale sandwich right now, Basil.
Yeah.
It's funny how you start fancying things when you're marooned like this.
Yes, I know.
Hey, do you remember that character in Treasure Island, Ben Gunn?
Gun?
Yes.
Yes. The captain fired him, didn't he?
He was marooned on a desert island for 10 years.
Yes.
With nothing to eat but goat meat.
Really?
And you know the first thing he said when he was rescued? No. All he wanted was cheese.
Well, at least he had the butter. He had the butter.
Well, we haven't got any goats, and look at the state of my clothes. Ben Gunn was luckier. He made new clothes out of goat skins.
Out of goat skins?
Yes.
You mean he took the skins off those little nanny goats and billy goats?
Well, they were wild goats.
Well, I'm not surprised. I'd be wild if somebody took the skin off me. I'd have to run around in the nuddy. Basil Blush. Oh, dear.
Oh, this is a terrible place, Basil.
Certainly is.
Not like the islands you read about in books.
Yeah.
Not a hula girl in sight.
Hula girl?
Yeah, those beautiful South Sea maidens who do the hula dancing.
Oh, yes, I've seen that hula dancing. They look as if they're riding a bicycle with a loose saddle.
Basil, you're a nut. Sometimes I think you haven't got any brains at all.
Oh, I assure you I have, Mr. Derek. Do you know I've got more brains in my head than most people have in their little finger?
Well, I wish you'd use them sometime. It's your fault we're shipwrecked, you know.
My fault?
Yes. When we hit that storm, I told you to get all the water out of the hull, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
And what did you do?
I pulled the bung out of the bottom to let the water out.
Thank goodness I could swim.
Yes.
Hey, you can't swim.
Huh?
How did you get to the beach?
Ah, well, I used my brains, Mr. Derek. Yes. When the boat went down, I grabbed a bar of soap and washed myself ashore.
What? In all that surf?
Oh, steady on, Mr. Derek. Quah. I say, no advertising, please. Actually, I came in on the tide. I remember thinking to myself, Lux Withers.
Well, I suppose I better have another go with these.
Yes.
I've spent 2 hours every day for the past 5 weeks rubbing these sticks together.
Really?
And I can't get a fire lit.
Yeah. I say,
Yeah.
would you like to have my matches?
Matches?
Yes.
Well, you didn't tell me you'd got matches.
Well, you didn't ask.
Where are your matches?
What? Well, they were here a minute ago.
Here they are. Well, these matches are no good. They won't work.
Oh, they worked all right this morning because I tried them all.
Oh, how I envy Robinson Crusoe.
What?
At least he had somebody to help him. He ought to be my man Friday.
I'm afraid Friday's a very difficult day for me, Mr. Derek. I could manage Saturday.
No, don't bother.
Yeah.
As soon as I get this file lit, I'll start on the beacon.
Oh, that'll be nice. And the eggs.
Eggs?
Yes. And we can have beacon and eggs.
I'm talking about a signal beacon in case any ships are passing.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Hey, Basil.
What's the matter?
Look.
Huh?
Footprints.
Hey,
Did you make those? Have you been up to your monkey tricks again?
me? No, Mr. Derek.
Well, somebody must have made those last night.
Yes.
I'll just see where they lead.
Hey, will you watch out, Mr. Derek? You don't know what you might find. Poor old Mr. Derek. I don't know why he doesn't relax in the sun. Oh, lan da dum di di la da da di di dan da dan da da dum. Di da dum dum da di di dum. Go. Hello, Mr. Derek. What are you doing in that fur coat? Hey, you've been skinning those little nanny goats again? Hey, wait a minute. You're not Mr. Derek. Oh, how do you do? You live around here? Oh, about 3 miles down the coast. Well. I say, here. Would you like a jelly, baby? Well, help yourself. Yes. Is that nice? Good? Have another one. Go have another one. Hey, where you going? Hey, don't. Hey, come back here, you jelly baby snatcher, you. Come back here. Come back here.
I am back.
No, not you, Mr. Derek. That other chap.
Well, there isn't another chap. I've just looked.
Yes, there is, Mr. Derek. I can assure you there is.
Look, I've told you before, you stop your monkey business.
Score.
There's nobody here except us.
Look at that. He's eating the blooming lot.
Who's eating it? Hey, Basil.
What?
There's a gorilla.
Huh? Yes, and a blooming greedy one, too. God.
Eddie, there you are. Come here, let's put your lead
it?
on. You're a very naughty boy for running away like that.
What's
Hey, what are you doing on this island?
Island? This ain't Ireland, mate. This is England.
Huh?
You're about, 3 miles from Biting-on-Sea.
Right on sea?
This is Addy the Airy Ape.
Airy ape?
He escaped from the zoo down there. He's a little bit troublesome sometimes, but he's very friendly.
Yeah.
Got very taking ways, though, as that, Addy.
I know. He took all my blooming jelly babies.
That's
Put that
it.
down. Put it down. Put it down.
Yes, well, that's his only trouble, you see. Anything that takes his fancy, he's likely to pick it up.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Addy, let's go.
Well, I'm very glad he didn't fancy me, Mr. Derek. Oh, I see.
Hey, Basil! Do something!
What?
What shall I do?
Tell him to stop his monkey business.
Our singing star this week, the one and only Leapy Lee!
Now I found you, I'll surround you with love and kisses forevermore. And as I take you in my arms, dear, then I awake to find I'm lying on the floor. Good morning, good morning, good morning, girl, and how's the world with you? Good morning, good morning, help me, girl, to make a dream come true. It was only imagination, a lonely mind running free. And as I hurry to the station, I hope to hear my dream girl say to me, good morning, good morning, good morning, girl, how's the world with you? Good morning, good morning, help me, girl, to make a dream come true, yeah. I've come true. Good morning.
It's time now for the second episode from our new serial story, Basil the Farmer, Defender of the Right. Now, do you remember what happened last week, Basil?
Do I remember what happened last week? Do I? No, what happened last week?
Basil was working on his farm.
Oh, yes.
When he found a full suit of armour and weapons buried in the ground.
Oh, yes, yes.
Then he was attacked by the Baron's wicked son, Sir Jasper Fitzwaddle.
Fitzwaddle, yes, yes.
And he killed him.
Oh,
accidentally.
Accidentally? He only chucked him in the lake, that's all.
Well, it was self-defence.
Huh?
And he did try to rescue him, didn't he?
Yes, he did, yes.
Right. Well, now I've recapitulated on...
Have you really? I hope you didn't hurt yourself.
Now I have recapitulated on last week's episode, I shall continue.
Oh, about blooming time, too. Come on.
Basil stood in the single room of his rude dwelling.
Hey, I say.
What?
Just a minute. We don't want anything rude. Or we'll have to chuck this book out as well, you know.
Look, there's nothing rude about it. The rude dwelling is the rough farmer's cottage that he lives in.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Typical of the lowly homes in which the poor peasants were forced to live.
Yes.
Roughly built with walls of wattle and daub.
What's wattle and daub?
Well, it's a mixture of chopped straw, mud, and muck from the farmyard, which they mix up in their hands to build the walls of their cottages. A poor farmer and his family, which often numbered as many as 10 young children, would have to share the cottage with the farm animals. The chickens, the pigs, and even the occasional cow.
I bet it didn't half pong. Still, I suppose the animals got used to it.
Basil felt a twinge of sadness at the thought of leaving his home, humble though it was. But he had vowed to assume the role of defender of the right and to fight against the injustices which prevailed.
Yes.
He looked at the results of his labours.
Yes.
Throughout the night, he had worked with sand and water.
Making mud pies?
No. Polishing and burnishing the armour and weapons until they shone with a blinding brilliance. Proudly, he surveyed the glistening helmet surmounted by 4 royal purple plumes.
Oh, I like those.
What?
Plumes. Yes, very nice with a bit of custard. Good for you, too, you know.
He wears these on his helmet.
Prunes and custard on his helmet? The juice will run all down his neck.
Not prunes. Plumes.
Oh, plums. I like plums and custard too, you know.
The plumes are long coloured feathers. Basil, what makes you so stupid?
I don't know. Practice, I suppose. Come on.
With growing excitement, he began to don his armoured vestments. First, the hauberk.
I beg your pardon?
Hauberk.
I may be a bit of a Burke, but I feel very sensitive about it, you know.
Look, I didn't call you a Burke, you Burke. The hauberk is a long chain mail shirt which goes under his tasset and cuirass.
Come on.
Then carefully he checked his mail.
Oh, any threatening letters? I keep getting threatening letters. It's very worrying.
Who sends you threatening letters?
The income tax collector. Dear sir, unless... blooming menace it is.
He was checking his chain mail.
Oh!
It was first class.
Oh, that's a 5-penny stamp, isn't it?
What is?
First class mail. Only takes a week to get there.
Look, the chain mail to which I'm referring is the long metal garment known as the hauberk, or the Bernie.
Oh, what about Mike?
Who's Mike?
Bernie's brother, Mike and Bernie Winters. Oh, they're lovely. Who's that footy, cooty face?
Thank you. Amazingly,
yes,
the suit of armour was exactly his size. Yes. The cuish and the Pauline fitted snugly, and the demi-greaves were perfect.
Oh, he's been dropped, though, hasn't he?
Who's been dropped?
Jimmy Greaves. He's a marvellous player. Oh, one of my favourites.
Look, let me show you a picture.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Oh, I see.
There's the cuish.
Yes.
There's the Pauline, there.
Yes.
And this is the demi-greaves, or armed shin guards.
Yes.
And they're all part of the jam that he puts onto his legs.
Puts jam on his legs? What flavour?
Raspberry.
Ooh!
Look. There, that's the jam, there.
Oh,
leg harness.
Oh, I
right.
see. You lost your place, haven't you?
I've lost my place now. Now, where are we? Ah, yes, here we are.
Ah, yes, there we are, yes.
Completing the assembly of his leg armour, the spurs added the finishing touch.
Oh, we're back to Jimmy Greaves again.
To don the full armour without the aid of a squire was a difficult procedure, but eventually Basil, in knightly array, with his helmet under his arm, sat proudly on his destrier.
Oh, there's nothing else he could sit on, really, is there?
What are you talking about?
Basil sitting on his derriere.
His destrier. That's what they called the big, strong horses the knights rode.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. I thought you said his horse's name was Harold. We should make up your mind. Come on.
And urging his faithful steed into a canter,
yes.
Basil de Farmer set off on his self-imposed mission.
Yes.
After 4 hours of journeying, Basil found himself in a small wood, and finding a patch of soft grass under a shady tree, decided to rest a while. He removed his armour and laid it on the ground beside him.
Oh, didn't he hang it up? I mean, you told me I must always hang my suit up.
But he didn't need to hang it up. Huh? You don't get wrinkles in suits of armour.
Oh, it's a non-iron armour. Was it drip dry?
No. Wearily, he stretched out on the lush grass, in need of sleep after his hours of hard work and travel, making sure that his weapons were close at hand, because a wooded copse often concealed robbers.
Cops and robbers?
Be quiet.
Quiet.
Robbers.
Me? Oh, I beg your pardon, yes.
Robbers who preyed on the unwary traveller.
Yes.
Closing his eyes, he sank into a deep sleep, unaware that...
In his underwear?
Unaware...
Oh, I beg your pardon.
That his every movement had been watched.
Yes.
Behind some bushes on the other side of the little clearing was another man in ill-fitting, ill-assorted items of armour, which had obviously been stolen from his victims.
Oh, he's a baddie.
Yes, he's a baddie.
Yeah, don't like
His
baddies.
face broke into an evil grin as he reached for the battered helmet with the dirty, bedraggled plumes which lay on the ground beside him. Then, creeping stealthily to where Basil lay, he raised a wicked-looking dagger.
Wicked-looking dagger, yes.
It was Harold's nervous whinny that woke Basil.
Who's Winnie? What's she nervous about? I mean, it's Basil who should be nervous.
Harold the horse made a whinnying noise. Oh. It was Harold's nervous whinny that awoke Basil. Yes. And he opened his eyes to see the villain preparing to plunge the sharp blade into his heart.
Oh, no. Oh.
Well, that's all for this week, Basil.
What? Hey, but you can't leave Basil like that. I mean, that baddie's going to stick a dagger in his doublet.
Listen next week to another thrilling episode of Basil de Farmer, Defender of the Right.
Oh.
The farmer known as Basil made a vow to go and fight.
To clobber every baddie, every dark and dirty night.
He won a reputation as defender of the right. Villains used to tremble when they heard his name. Basil faces danger when he pauses for a rest.
A nasty varlet's going to dig a dagger in his vest.
He conquered every man who tried to put him to the test.
And everywhere he went they heard his battle cry. But he's a brave, brave man. Basil the farmer, the man in shining armour,
fought against injustice with his sword held high,
and all his enemies used to tremble at the knees.
And everywhere he went they heard his battle cry.
How about you, varlets?
Here, before we send you...
I would like to sing.
No sound. It's just for cutaways, Ivan.
Right.
Derek, can you move your hands? Get your tail wagging, Ivan. Ivan, Basil. That's it. There's the wag your face. Lovely. Okay. That's it. Right. We are clear. Yes? That's it. Thank you all very much. You've been...